Okay, butterflies, welcome back to the channel. I'm not gonna waste any time. As you can see, I'm jumping right in. This is my beautiful client. She has some 3 pattern hair and it's super soft, super fine, and it had the tendency to buckle on me. And so I had to keep my fingers placed very firmly throughout, and I would encourage you to do so if you're working with a client with super fine hair. I even braided down not just 1, 2, 3, but 4, 5, and then added the hair on the 6. You'll see what I mean in a second when I zoom in and slow down just a bit. So, yep, keeping my fingers firm because this hair was rude. Consistently tried to betray me. And I added really thin pieces that mimicked her actual legs of her hair so I could try to keep it as consistent as possible throughout. I find that I have to do it differently with every client because the density varies with the person. It's just how it goes. So here we are from the top, separating the hair into 3 sections. Doing my normal underhanded braid, 1, 2, 3. I'll give you a better view. I'm gonna go ahead and do another 1 and 2, and this is where I will add the hair, just to give it a more secure foundation. Keep any stray hairs out of my vicinity. 5, another again, and 6. So wait, this is where I'm gonna add the hair. Sorry. And like I said, I used very thin pieces to mimic her hair because it was so thin. Even the sections are quite big, but the hair was so thin. Okay. So after every 1, 2, I would add another piece. In some areas I added 3, in some areas I added 5. At the front it was a total different story, hair story. But I will show you different angles. I'm going to show you pretty much every angle. From the back, which is where we are now, to the top and the sides as well. And the hairline, which was so fragile that I had to use another method. But I'm going to stop talking so you can watch. Making sure that hair is firm. This is what I mean by buckling. You see how it's trying to like, whoop. I'm like, hey, where you going? Come in. And I really have to show her hair who's the boss. And keep my fingers firmly in place. I did not use jam. I only used jam on her hairline. No particular reason. I just don't always use it. You don't always need it. And you shouldn't rely on it, because what if you don't have any? What if you run out? See the hair trying to buckle on me? Betray me? Alright, so I'm happy with this consistency. This is the size about that she wanted. And I'm just going to continue down. Alright, so here's another angle. You see right here how thin her hair is. And she had what I like to call multi-textural hair. So in different areas, she had different textures. In this particular area, then look how scraggly that piece is. So I'm gonna add a piece. Only did 1, 2 down here. I'm adding another piece. After every one, I went and added another piece, which I don't always do. In some cases, I go down 2 before I add another piece. My hair is trying to buckle on me, betray me because it's evil. So annoying. That's something that you would deal with if you were working with really thin hair. I'm going to show it to you again, closer. 2, 3, I'm gonna add some hair. Nice thin piece, not too much thicker than her own hair, so that it can stay consistent and natural as possible. That's where the hair tries to buckle. And you gotta really like show her who's the boss. I don't have this problem with for pattern hair or more thicker density hairs. But this really thin hair tends to do that, so be mindful of that and keep your fingers firm and show that hair who's the boss. All right, and then you'll end up with something like this, neat boxes. So as you can see, I'm doing the same technique. I don't really switch up the flow too much. If you're gonna do hair, you gotta be comfortable with repetitiveness because it's all about consistency. All about consistency. I'll show you another angle. And this is how, I just put this clip in so you can see how I keep my hair on my arm because I'm a gangster. Thinking about getting one of those wooden thread spools just because I'm getting so much request and demand for this service that it might make my life easier. But this is usually how I add in my hair for my feed-ins. And if you notice, you might want to go back, you'll see that the hair gradually gets thicker. Like I have it laid out so that the super thin pieces are in the front and the thicker ones are at the bottom. So this is a method that you could use if you have sturdy arms, but be careful because you don't want the hair rolling down to your wrist or falling to the ground. All right, so now this is an area that was super thin and I had to add the hair like after the first 2 stitches. I don't know if you can see it, and I put jam around this one, so that's why you see a little bit of like caking, but it will disappear because you know how jam does. So this hair was so thin. I used super small pieces. I cared more that it wasn't too heavy for her hairline than that it was consistent with the size of all the other braids, because you gotta be mindful about people's hairline. I don't want her, you know, shit getting snatched up. But I was happy with this consistency. It flowed nicely. And here's another angle. We're gonna go from the top. And I think you can get a better idea from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add in a very small piece. Make sure my fingers that got that in place, because this hair is disrespectful. Watch it try to buckle on me. And it buckles because one side becomes more heavier than the other side. So I'm braiding down a little bit more, as you can see, before adding another piece. And here's another. 3, 4, and 5. Yep, you went there. Make sure your fingers are firmly in place and confident. Yep, little piece by little piece. That hair will try to buckle on you. So keep those fingers pinched. Yep, and I'm pretty happy with this. This is looking really good. It's not that easy working with fine hair sometimes, but it's not that hard either. It means a closer and more slowed down version of the same clip so you can get a better idea. Add in a little piece, very thin piece, like the piece is about the size of the legs of her hair, not much thicker. That's why I really want to zoom in so you can see the size of the piece that I was using. And then braided it down quite a few. And this piece was a little bit thicker than the last one. You see how I'm pinching that hair down? Because if I don't, it will disrespect me. And I don't like starting over. And that's pretty much it. So if you want to see the full after effect, it would look something like this. You can also go to my Instagram at butterfly_braids to check it out. And I'm going to put in some clips from an episode of Hair Story Podcast while you listen to, so you can listen to while you watch the full install. Here we go. Okay, so I have an anonymous hair story today. And she's a little shy at the moment. You shy at the moment?
A little bit.
She said a little bit. But we're going to work through it. We're actually in the middle of a session right now. I am doing her box braids. How many times I did your braids?
Box braids, no box.
Box braids, no boxes. Yes. I was doing her hair a couple of times. And, I don't know. I just thought that she would be a good guest. So I wanted to ask her about her hair stories. And when we wasn't recording, I had all the questions in the world. And now that the mic is rolling, I have no idea what I'm going to ask her. But I'm going to start simple. And I'm going to ask her the regular black girl question. Have you ever had a perm?
Yes. First perm was I was 9 years old. I begged my mom for a perm.
Did you beg her before you turned 9 also? Like
before I turned 9. And
how old were you when you started begging for perms? I need to know that.
Maybe like 7 or 8.
Why? Because other people have straight hair and you were like, that looks fun?
Because she had straight hair and it looked fun.
Okay. All right.
And she would go every 2 weeks for hours and come back and her hair was amazing, looked so good. I'm like, I want to go away for hours and come back and my hair looks good.
And you never went to the salon with her at that point?
No, I used to stay with my dad.
Ah, okay, cool.
Because it was just boring there. So she was leaving with my dad. We would go to the park and stuff. But yeah, I begged her, and at 9, she caved in. And hindsight, I wish she didn't cave in.
Why?
Only because I feel like, hindsight, years, maybe 2 years later. But initially, I loved it because my hair was straight. I was able to do my hair myself.
Manage it just so well, flipping it back and forth. Did you do rollers? How did you maintain it when you were a kid? Do you remember?
When I washed it, I would get rollers, and so I had rollers coming out I had a bunch of curls coming out, and then my mom would comb it, I guess, for me. Usually it'd be in a ponytail. Because after that, I was like, oh no more barrettes and...
No more bobos? What'd you call them?
Barrettes and ribbon.
That's part of the black girl, rite of passage. You have to have those in your hair when you're a kid. These kids these days, they don't really have them a lot. Do you notice that?
That's true, they don't.
When I was little, bubbles were everything. Squeezing my little brain. Okay. So you went through your bubble phase. You started with your perm. Do you feel like you started feeling more like a grown-up when you got your perm?
I did, especially that I was able to comb my hair myself and it came out good. But I only could do that for a while. I only was able to do a ponytail. And then
what? You jumped straight into weaves, or you just when did you start getting?
So I got my first weave when I was 25. And it only
Damn, girl. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
Did you want to weave before that, or you just blessed?
No,
I have all this beautiful hair.
I had a lot of hair. I had good length hair. I had bra length hair.
Okay.
So I didn't really need the weave to the point that it even grew a lot longer. When I got the weave, no one noticed I had a weave. They were just like, you look different. But they didn't know what was different about me.
So why did you get the weave? Your hair was so long and everything.
Because I wanted something different.
Color wise or just
No, just
experience.
It was longer. It was maybe an inch or 2 longer than my real hair. But no one really noticed that much. And I became paranoid. So it only lasted for 2 weeks.
Your weave?
Yeah.
But what? The
because I felt like everyone noticed that it was a weave, and I felt like when I was walking down the street, people were looking at me like, oh, she has a weave in it.
Even though half of them people have weave too.
Right. So it only lasted 2 weeks.
And you took it out.
And I took it out.
Yeah, you wasting money, girl.
I did. Because I didn't know it was so expensive. I had to pay for the hair. Right. I had to pay for someone to put the hair in. I was like, people do this on a regular?
Right.
I was like, wow. I spent maybe $300.
That's not even a lot no more.
I was like, that was a lot.
Whew. All right. So then you said, all right, this is enough weave for me, or you just kept weaving it up?
No, that was it. And then I didn't get my next weave until maybe 2 years after another occasion. And again, it lasted 2 weeks because I was paranoid or insecure.
Damn.
I felt like everyone was looking at me.
What do you think that came from? That feeling? But even though everybody was wearing weave, I know all the celebrities wore weave. Everybody wearing weave. By 25, yeah.
I think the thing for me was I felt like people knew that it was mine, and I didn't like the fact that it wasn't mine. Not that it was even noticeable. I think she did a good job with blending my hair in. But the fact
did you
that
have leave out, or did it was like full head soap?
No, I had leave out. So it was just like pretty much the back.
Okay.
But the fact that it wasn't mine made me feel uncomfortable. Hey butterflies, it's your girl Leia, and I'm so happy to take this time to introduce you guys to the platform that I use to create this podcast. So, Anchor. Anchor is everything. When I first started using podcasts, I didn't know like which was the best way to get it out there to all the platforms. How could I find a place where people would listen to it? How could I make money from having a platform? And the answer to every question I had was right here at Anchor. So whether you're listening on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, I don't know where, Google Play, it's everywhere. And that's because I use Anchor. The best part about it is that it's absolutely free. So you can make money and you can start today. Simple. You can even use your phone. That's what I love the most about it, is that most of my podcasts are produced on my phone using the Anchor FM service. And if you want to get started with a podcast and start making money doing it, it's so simple. Just go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start. Do it right now. I'll wait. Pause.
Alright, fast forward now. You're in my chair. You're getting braids, and this ain't the first time. But apparently, I'm one of the first people that you let braid your hair.
Yes. So, once I decided to go natural, which was not an easy decision.
Why? Tell me about that.
I only went natural because my hair, a lady was like, your hair's falling out. And we've tried all this stuff. We switched up your perms and nothing's working. And I was like, okay, so let's try this natural thing. So that's the only reason why I went natural, because my hair was thinning out.
Your hair is requesting it. Like, hey, I don't want any more of the poison.
Yeah, like I had the length, but it was still thin. So I was like, fine, let's switch it up. And then I did not want to do the big chop.
No.
So I transitioned. Took me a while.
And then you end up cutting it off eventually? Or
like little by little. Like, okay. Little by little. So yeah, I would just get like, after I had enough new growth, I was like, all right, I need a protective style. So I got crochet for like 2 years straight. That's all I had was crochet. And then I was like, all right, I need to switch it up.
Crochet like weave styles?
So I would get the same crochet too. I would get the pre-curls. Mm-hmm. That's the only crochet I would get.
Right.
Pre-curl crochet, nothing else. None of that wavy stuff. Just like the one that looks natural.
Right.
So I did that for 2 years straight. And then I was like, I need to switch it up.
And these are braids?
How
did you find me? Like,
oh, so I found you because I hashtagged something about edges.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot what I used exactly. Something edges, because I was like, I don't want to go to the Africans because I don't want them to rip out my edges.
Oh, right. You heard a lot of horror stories. But you had never been to the Africans?
Never.
That's crazy.
So before you,
I feel bad calling them the Africans. Whenever I'm saying, like, oh, you go to the Africans, I feel weird. Like, why you call them the Africans? Like, they're people, but I think we just know what that means. Does that make sense?
They're Africans, though.
Yeah, they're Africans. But do you like, oh, do you go to the Puerto Ricans? Or you know what I mean? Oh, when you go to the Dominicans, everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay.
Right.
I feel better. I just want the Africans to know I love them. Like, I have no shade.
So, yeah, I did not want to go to the Africans. And I let my friend do it, and then she didn't do a good job. So now I was like, all right, let me find someone on Instagram. Because I found my crochet lady on Instagram, and she was amazing.
Oh, really? I mean, Instagram is life, though. Like, you could find anything. Vegan food. What you looking for? You can find it.
So then I came across your page. I used like a hashtag with something edges. I don't remember exactly what I used. And then I was like, oh, wow. And you had mentioned all my clients have edges. I'm like, yes, that's what I need.
You can put that on the meme.
I need that because edges are everything.
Right. Black girl with no edges is like, it's hard. It's hard out here.
Yeah, like, you can have all this hair, no edges. It's like you have nothing.
So what about, go for it.
So then I was like, we have to fix it, right? This is it. She's the one. And I think I slid in your DM.
I don't know. I don't think I found you.
How did I find you?
Email, because I used to have email, call on the page. So I think maybe,
beautiful young lady here.
course it would be people coming inside during the middle of it.
No, don't worry about that. Go straight. We have application already. The application already? Yeah, waiting for approval.
I'm getting some work done in my bathroom right now, so I got 2 guys here. And, you know, I'm sorry to my client. Oh my God. So, all right, so now you got braids, you rocking braids. What you think about that braid life?
I love the braids. I love
You look
it.
good with braids. Like, she looks like a model.
I love braids. I love it. It's easy because I work out a lot. And it's just like easy to work out in.
Anytime she's come back again, I'll make sure I send you up here. Thank you. That's somebody else.
Oh my God. So, as you can see, shit is real. This is real life. Like, I can't make this up. This is not.
Hey, Atlas, you want something to eat? No. You good?
Alright. So Atlas, he don't
Anybody want something to eat?
we don't want anything to eat. Thank you.
This reminds me of the shade room when people they post like a thing. Someone was like, "I'm going to the store. Anybody want?"
Right. Yes. This is like a shade room episode in real life. This is the comments of the shade room. That's what I live. I live that life. So look. I try to stay out the shade room with the comments because people be roasting you. If you have a comment or opinion, people will drag you.
They will.
Have you ever like put a comment? And
Never.
somebody you never commented.
Oh, I did comment.
I did. That's why I know.
I think it
And
wasn't
I'm
on
not
a
the one to
shade
do it.
room, but it was something on a shade room level.
Right.
And then, so I was a bridesmaid in like a wedding a year ago.
Yeah.
And I was the smallest bridesmaid in terms of size.
Right.
And then
No
they were
brags.
like saying that I messed up the picture because I was the smallest
no, they
girl.
didn't body shame you?
They body shamed me.
Nah.
So I came for her. I was like, what? I forgot what I said, but it was something slick.
Wow.
And then everyone was like coming for her too.
Yeah,
All my
that's
friends
right.
came for her.
Good.
And I was like, really?
That's a
I
dragging
messed up the
commence.
picture because I'm the smallest. Like my leg made the picture. Like my leg was out. Like
Let me tell you something. I was the smallest for a long time. I was really small, and I used to hate it. And not even nobody ever really said nothing about it. It's just personally, I wasn't comfortable with myself yet at that time. So I don't think that's right. I don't think you should make fun of anybody. Period. That's why everybody's trying to get surgery and just do the most.
I agree because you don't know what their
Yeah,
mental is like.
Self-esteem levels. Like everybody's not built strong and tough to handle these comments. So
But
it's not right.
I was ready.
She got hands.
Ready.
I would leave her alone. And she's smart, so she'll drag you like literally, mentally, socially. I'll just leave her alone. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. All right. So you ever had a crazy salon experience that you want to share with the people?
Crazy salon experience.
It don't have to be necessarily a salon. It could be like what else? Hair spa or random act of fuckery. I don't know.
Sadly.
That's not sad. If you have one, that's good.
I don't know. Just a whole bunch of times where my hairdresser would just not show up.
That happened to you?
So many times.
Like you had a maiden.
It happened yesterday.
Oh.
We had an appointment for me to come to the salon at 2 p.m. for her to wash my hair. I get there at 2:01.
Right.
The gates are down. I'm like, oh. So then I call her, voicemail. It's like, okay. And I get a text saying that, oh, I went to the dentist and they pulled out 3 of my teeth and I can't talk.
Put your teeth together.
And I'm just like, so